welcome to RadioTrivia.com, the fastest hour in radio, bringing you back to yesterday by making radio fun again. And now, here are your hosts, Mark Bornstein and Bruce Caplan.
Well, good morning, Puget Sound, and welcome to another edition of RadioTrivia.com. My name is Mark Bornstein, along with my co-host Bruce Caplan, and we're glad to be with you this morning. We're sponsored by the good folks at U-Park Parking Lots, where the customer is always number one, and they have locations throughout the greater Puget Sound area. And we're also sponsored by The Force Realty. Let The Force sell your home or help you buy a new home. They utilize the latest in internet technology to provide you with buyers from all over the world. Call The Force today at 425-444-2084.
Before we lose this Hibernian mood, the rhythm airs. John Scott and myself would like to do a song made immortal by Whisperin' Pat Herring. Ready, John? Dear old Donegal. 3 years ago this very day I left the Port of Cork, and on a ship from Old Erin's Isle I landed in New York, without a friend to meet me there and a stranger on the shore. But I wore an honest Irish heart and fortune came galore. So here I am back again on dear Old Erin's Isle, and the friends they meet me on the quay and they greet me with a smile. But there's faces there that I surely forgot, for I was so long away. But me mother she introduces all, and this is what she says.
Shake hands with your Uncle Mike, me boy. Shake hands with your sister Kate.
Well, Kitty, me darling.
The girl you used to swing down on the garden gate. Shake hands with all the neighbors.
Come forward.
And kiss the counting doll.
The part I
You're
like.
welcome as the flowers in May to dear old Donegal.
Well, they gave a party when I came back, and they came from near and far, and the road was lined for near a mile with Irish jaunting cars, and the whiskey flowed like buttermilk to fill our hearts with joy, and the piper played an Irish reel to greet the Yankee boy. So tomorrow out to church I'll go, and the wedded hour will be to my pretty little calling, sweet Biddy McGee. For Biddy was true and faithful to her Barney o'er the sea, and would join the harp and shamrocks to the stars of liberty. Deckham, Brannigan, Flanagan, Milligan, Gilligan, Duffy, McGuffey, Malachi, Mahone, Rafferty, Lafferty, Donnelly, Connolly, Dooley, O'Hooley, Muldowney, Mullaw, Kelowna, oh, Kelowna. How did he get in there? Politics, eh? Shanahan, Manahan, Fogarty, Hogarty, Kelly, O'Skilly, McGinnis, McGinn. Pat O'Brien was late. Then I'll shake the hand of me Uncle Mike and the hand of me Sister Kate, and I'll hug and I'll squeeze as much as I please the girl on the garden gate. Then I'll invite all the neighbors to my wedding, great and small, and I'll live content and pay no rent in dear old Donegal.
This is Bruce Caplan. Welcome you back to another episode of Radio Trivia. Hope you're all having a fantastic weekend. I just played Bing Crosby. He's one of my favorites. A lot of people thought that Bing Crosby was born in Spokane, but he was actually born in the wonderful city of Tacoma. And when he was about 5 years old, he moved to Spokane. I don't think there's ever been a better entertainer all around. As far as an actor, singer, comedian, he did everything. Well, tonight we have two gems for you. We begin with a wonderful 1943 episode of The Jack Benny Show, and then we conclude with an episode of Henry Aldridge. I think you really enjoy both of them. If you have any questions for me, please don't hesitate to write to Bruce@radiotrivia.com. I'll be sure and answer you. Thank you so much for tuning in, and now let's enjoy our two great shows.
Ladies and gentlemen, we bring you a man who lost $50 on Rochester's horse in the Kentucky Derby yesterday and took it like a man, it says here, Jack Benny.
Thank you. Hello again. This is Jack Benny, the gambler, talking. And, Don, I'll admit that I was a little disappointed when Rochester's horse came in last. But what really gets me is that I lost $50 and the whole race was over in 2 minutes.
Well, what's that got to do with it?
Losing $50 in 2 minutes, that's too fast. Why, several times in holdups, I've stretched it out to 10 minutes. You know, ad-lib with a guy while he's taking my shoe off. Anyway, the race is over. I lost $50, and heaven knows I wish I could forget it. I mean, I'm really not a sore loser.
What do you mean you're not a sore loser?
Oh, hello, Mary. I mean, I can take it. I never care what I lose on a horse race.
What are you talking about? A couple of months ago, you lost $2 on one of Bing Crosby's horses, and you burned his house down.
I was in New York when Crosby's house burned down. Could have been his horse. But getting back to the Kentucky Derby, I wasn't disappointed when I lost that bet on Rochester's horse. I heard the result over the air, I walked over to the radio, and I turned off the dial.
You bit off the dial.
Mary, for the last time, I was not disappointed. That's the only reason.
Say, Jackson, you aren't the only guy that lost dough on that race. I hear Rochester lost his whole bankroll.
Yeah, he wired me for some money, but I didn't send him any.
Well, then how's he going to get home?
He's riding his horse from Kentucky. He'd make much better time if the horse would ride him. That's not the picture at all, Sid. Stop jiggling, you know.
You want to know something, Jackson? I won $20 on Rochester's horse.
How could you win $20 when the horse came in last?
I bet he'd still be breathing at the end of the race.
Well, as a matter of fact, Bill, you're the kind of a... Oh, hello, Dennis.
Hello, Mr. Benny. Well, you lost $50. Go ahead, kick me.
Kick you? What for?
It's right in my contract. When you're lonely, sad, and blue, I get it.
Don't worry, kid. I'm not going to kick you.
Okay, then I'll take this pie tin out of my pants.
Well, I'll be darned. There's a pie in it. And now, ladies and gentlemen...
Lemon meringue.
I know. Now, let's forget about the Derby and horse races and everything. We got a program to do. And now, ladies and gentlemen, for our feature attraction this evening, we are going to present...
Oh, pardon me, Jack. I'll take it. And now, ladies and gentlemen, for our feature attraction this evening, we would like to show you what happened last week when Jack rented Eddie Cantor's house in Palm Springs. It seems that...
Now, wait a minute, Don. Nobody's interested in that little episode in Palm Springs. I rented Cantor's house. I had a very pleasant week. I paid him for it.
You what?
I had a very pleasant week. So tonight we're going to do a play.
But Mary thought this would be much
Mary,
funnier.
Mary. Who's the boss of this program, me or Mary?
Bird. That hair's ought to be shot. Missed me.
Mary, take my gun outside. There's no smoking in the studio. And now, ladies and gentlemen, as I started to say before I miss Harris, for our feature attraction this evening, we are going to present a play.
Now, Jack Benny, we're not having any play. Go ahead, Don. Tell everybody what happened to us at Palm Springs last week.
Okay. Well, the whole thing started when Jack's doctor told him last Monday morning that the only way to really clear up his cold was to spend a week on the desert.
On the desert. Big fat cactus.
Jack and Mary had just left the doctor's office and were walking along Vine Street toward the Brown Derby, where Jack gets his toothpick.
There you are, mister. Are you all right now?
Yes. Thanks, honey.
Are you sure you can manage alone?
Yes. I'm all right.
Well, goodbye, mister.
Goodbye. Darn those Boy Scouts. They're always leading me across the street. I'm not that old.
Well, I'm starving, Jack. Let's drop in at the Brown Derby and get something to eat.
I know a place right up the street from the Brown Derby that's terrific. Houlihan's Hot Doggery.
I'm not going to that joint.
What do you mean, joint? Everybody goes there. Look at their slogan, burp with the movie star. Darn this cold. Imagine my doctor telling me the only way to get over it is to go to Palm Springs. Now I have to buy a tent.
A what?
A tent.
Did it ever occur to you to stop at a hotel?
I don't know anybody staying at a hotel in Palm Springs.
I mean, get a room of your own, a place where you can have both ends of the towel.
Oh, I might have to at that. Well, here's Houlihan's hot doggery. Let's go in. Hello, Houlihan. How about something to eat? Did you make a reservation?
I don't know, did you, Jack?
No, I forgot to. Look, Mr. Houlihan, I wish the plates in here were as shiny as his head. Look, Mr. Houlihan, I'm Jack Benny. I dine here 4 or 5 times a week. You got a wonderful stomach. Get out of here before it's too late. Okay, some other time. Come on, Mary. Let's go.
Wow, this fresh air smells good.
We were only in there a second. If you want to go out and be so ritzy, we'll walk down to the Brown Derby. Come on.
All for Lou Pollard.
Gosh, the Brown Derby sure is jammed today.
Give me your arm, mister, and I'll help you through the crowd.
Go away, son. Go away. I don't need you.
Well, if you ever do, ask for Dick Davis, Beaver Patrol.
I'll remember that.
Come on, let's find a table.
Yeah. See, this place sure draws the tourists. I hope nobody asks me, Jack Benny, for my autograph.
What's that name again?
Jack Benny.
Well, nothing happened. Let's eat.
There's Chilius, the head waiter over there. Maybe he can...
Say, Jack, isn't that Eddie Cantor in that front booth?
Where? Oh, yeah, that is Eddie. Gee, I hope I look as good as he does when I'm his age. Yes, sir.
See, I just thought of something, Jack. Eddie's got a house in Palm Springs. Maybe you can rent it from him.
Rent Cantor's house? What do you mean rent it? He's a friend of mine. He'll give it to me. Let's sit with him. Hello, Eddie. How are you?
Well, Jack, Mary, come on, sit down. Well, Jack, what are you doing in the Derby? Raining outside, huh?
No. It was Mary's idea.
I haven't seen you in a long time, Jack. You look marvelous.
Well, thanks, Eddie. Thanks. I've been pretty sick, you know.
Well, sick or not, I hope I look as good as you do when I'm your age.
Well, how's the family, Eddie? How's Ida and the boys?
Oh, they're all... Boys? What are boys? Jack, my kids are girls. You're thinking of Crosby.
Crosby?
Yeah, remember I burned his house down for you when you were in New York?
Oh, yes, thanks. Well, go ahead and order something to eat, Mary. Incidentally, the peanut butter sandwiches here are delicious.
Incidentally, I'm having the cream turkey.
Incidentally, the cream turkey costs $1.75.
Incidentally, everybody's looking at us.
Let them look.
They're looking.
All right. You can have the cream turkey, Mary. But if I ask you for a kiss on the cab on the way home, don't say what for. See, I'm kind of hungry myself. What are you having there, Eddie? It looks good.
Chicken soup with egg noodles?
Chicken soup with egg noodles, huh? Think I'll have some of that.
Okay, I'll have the waiter bring you a spoon.
No, I mean I'll order some. A bowl for myself.
They haven't got it today. I brought this one from home.
Oh, spoon, waiter, spoon. What for? I want a spoon to eat chicken soup with my friend here. He brought his own spoon. Look, I came unprepared. Give me a spoon. Here you are. Thanks.
And waiter, bring me an order of cream turkey.
At last, a sale in this booth. I can't believe it. Fresh guy. Gee, this soup looks good.
Yeah, let's start. 1, 2.
You know, Eddie, I'm sure glad Boy, this is hot. You know, Eddie, I'm sure glad Eddie, would you mind eating with your left hand and putting your right arm around my shoulder? I'm too far from the bowl.
Is this better, Jack? Oh, I'm sorry. My elbow's in your ear.
Yeah, we got to think of something else.
Well, why don't you put your right hand through my left sleeve, and then we can both dip at the same time, huh?
No, then we'd have to cut a hole in your coat. Well, that won't work.
Why don't you put the bowl on my head and eat piggyback?
You go and get that cream turkey. I think we're all right now, Eddie. Let's go.
1, 2.
As I was saying, Eddie, I'm sure glad I bumped into you.
By the way, Jack, would you mind breaking a cracker and putting it in the soup?
Sorry, Eddie, but I can't stand crackers in my soup.
Well, break one in anyway and float it over to my side.
Okay. There. Anyway, Eddie, I'm sure glad I bumped into you. You see? The crackers aren't floating. See, they're all on my side.
Well, tip the bowl a little, will you?
Oh, yeah. Get ready, Eddie. Yeah, I can hardly make that. Get ready, Eddie. Forward, soup. Say, Mary, while you're waiting, why don't you get a spoon and join us?
Don't bring guests. It's crowded enough. What do you think, this is the Hollywood Bowl?
Well, it's so delicious. I thought, whoop, hold it there, Eddie.
What's the matter?
That noodle is mine. Most of it is on my spoon. Now give me that noodle.
Oh, no, you don't.
Let go of that noodle.
You let go.
What are you laughing at?
You look like two robins with a worm.
Well, I've had enough anyway.
Here's your cream turkey, miss.
Thank you.
Do you want 3 forks with it, or are the boys sitting this one out?
Don't be so smart. Well, I've been trying to say, Eddie, I'm sure glad I bumped into you. You know, I'm going to Palm Springs for a few days, and I thought maybe you'd like to join me. I thought maybe we could get a room together in a hotel.
I don't think I can make it, Jack, but say, I'll tell you what.
What? Tell me what? What?
Well, no, I don't think you'd like it.
Yes, I would. Tell me, what were you going to say?
Well, I happen to have a little house down there.
Yeah.
Why don't you stay there instead of a hotel?
Well, that's darn nice of you, Eddie. What would you charge me for it?
Oh, Jack, we're friends. We've known each other for years. Take the house for nothing.
No, Eddie. Now, wait a minute. No, friendship is friendship. But I don't want to take advantage of it. Now, I insist on paying you for your house.
Take it for nothing, please. I'll feel better.
But, Eddie, I'll feel much better if you charge me something.
No.
Now, come on, cut it. Now, how much do you want for 1 week?
1 week? What is $300?
$300? Gee, isn't that a big jump from nothing?
Jack, look what you're getting, a
Swimming.
and 4 bedrooms.
I've had insomnia for 2 months. Now, Eddie, help me sleep. Cut that price.
All right, you can have the house for $250. How's that?
I'm still restless. Look, Eddie, give me the house for nothing. You'll feel better, like you said.
All right, Jack Benny, I'll give you the house for nothing on one condition.
What's that?
Look, there are plenty of hotels in Palm Springs. Don't start a new one, will you, Jack?
Don't worry, I won't. Well, thanks, Eddie.
All right, you're welcome, Jack. So long.
So long. I'll see you later.
In the blue of evening, when you appear close to me, dear one, there in the dusk we'll share a dream reverie. In the blue of evening, while crickets call and stars are falling, beneath a starlit sky, you'll come to me. In the shadows of the night we'll stand, I'll touch your hand, and then, softly as your love eyes entreat. In the blue of evening, night winds above whispering, I love you. There we will find romance in the blue of evening. Our life through the
That was In the Blue of Evening, sung by Dennis Day. And now, ladies and gentlemen, to continue with our story of what happened when Jack rented Eddie Cantor's house in Palm Springs.
Ed, you big fat stool pigeon, tell him everything.
Well, bright and early Tuesday morning, Jack, Mary, Dennis, Phil, and myself were out on Highway 99 hitchhiking our way to Palm Springs. Mary had no trouble stopping a truck.
I use the old garter trick, folks.
Yeah.
And before many hours had passed, we had arrived at the Springs and were hiding in the bushes in front of Cantor's house. It seems that Jack thought...
Now, listen, everybody. You stay in the bushes here, and I'll go up and ring the doorbell.
What do we have to stay here for, Mr. Benny?
Not so loud, then.
If you think I'm going to spend 5 days in these hollyhocks, you're crazy.
It'll only be for a few minutes. Once I get inside, you can all drop in casually. I don't want the caretaker to tell Cantor that I brought a whole gang with me. After all, you know how cheap he is.
How cheap is he, expert?
Phil, pull your head down and try to look like a hollyhock.
I look more like a gladiola.
Quiet.
I worry about things.
Dennis! Flowers should be smelled and not heard. Now remember, fellas, when I give the signal, come in casually, you know? Let's see. Where's the doorbell? Oh, here it is. We want Cantor. What a ham. Pull your heads down, kids. Here comes somebody. Holy smoke, the house is haunted.
How do you do?
How do you do? Are you the custodian?
I beg your pardon.
I said, are you the caretaker?
No, you didn't. You said, are you the custodian?
Well, custodian and caretaker are identical. They're synonyms. They're synonymous.
You save time by ignoring me.
Look, all I want to know is what do you do here?
Eddie Camper pays me to stay here and keep burglars away.
Burglars? Well, are there many burglars in Palm Springs?
Only me.
Oh, you're kidding. You wouldn't take anything.
I wouldn't take anything. Have you got the correct time, please?
Why, that's strange. I must have left my watch at home.
Silly boy.
Well, look, I'm Jack Benny.
The feeling is mutual.
What do you mean the feeling is mutual?
I don't like you and you don't like me.
Look, I'm Jack Benny. Mr. Cantor said I could use his house this week.
You're Jack Benny?
Yes, I'm Jack Benny.
If I look like you when I reach your age, I shouldn't reach it.
What's that got to do with it? Are you going to let me in or not?
Yes, come in and bring those hollyhocks with you.
Come on in, kids. Everything's all set. Come on.
Ladies and gentlemen, we all took our luggage, went inside the house, and made ourselves comfortable. Jack, of course, took Eddie's room and started to unpack his bag.
Let's see. I got my white flannels and my blazer, my parasol in case it gets too sunny here.
And here's your bathing trunk.
Thank you. Now, where's my... Oh, darn it. Now I won't be able to go in swimming.
What's the matter? Did you forget your muscles?
No, I forgot my water wings.
What's the difference? You couldn't blow them up anyway.
Cut that out.
Hey, Jackson. Cantor's sure got a swell layout here. Look at all those pictures of movie stars on the wall.
That's right, Phil. We're all up there. There's my picture over there.
Where, Mr. Benny?
Right there above the dresser.
That's Gene Autry's horse.
Oh, yes, the white mane fooled me. Although I gave Cantor a beautiful picture of myself. It must be around here someplace. Oh, Dennis, will you please put my razor and my toothbrush in the bathroom?
Oh, yes, sir.
And Mary, put my cold cream on the dressing table, will you?
Okay.
Now, where did I put
Oh,
my...
Mr. Benny!
What is it, Dennis?
I found your picture!
I knew he had it around here someplace. Who can that be? I'll get it. Hello?
Hello, Jack. This is Eddie. Are you comfortable? Is everything all right?
Oh, swell. The house is wonderful, Eddie.
I'm glad you like it. By the way, Jack, I had a little talk with Ida, and I told her I'd let you have the house for nothing.
How'd she take it?
When I stopped bouncing, it was $300.
You mean Ida expects me to pay $300 rent?
Yes, and 10 cents for the chicken soup.
Well, all I can say is you're a fine friend.
Well, don't blame me.
Don't blame you. Who's the boss of your family? You or Ida?
I'll call you back. She's standing right here.
But Eddie, argue with her, insist. What are you, a man or a mouse?
I'll have to call you back on that, too.
Okay, I'll send you a check. Goodbye.
Goodbye. I'm sorry about this, Jack, but anyway, have a good time. Ida, stop pushing. I can certainly wish him a good time. Have a good time, Jack.
Keep it. How a woman can make such delicious chicken soup and be so mercenary.
Oh, what do we do, Jack? Go home?
We can't go home. I'm stuck for $300, 10 cents, and a wristwatch. Now listen, Mary, and this goes for all of you. You're all chipping in and paying for your rooms here. Phil, you get the big room at the head of the stairs. That'll be $10 a day. And Don,
Yes, Jack.
you get the corner bedroom with cross ventilation. That's $12.50. Dennis, you can sleep on the Davenport for $3.50. Mary, you take Ida's room, and we'll put a sign out front, tourists accommodated. I'll get that $300 back if it's the last thing I do. Well, Eddie, I want to thank you and Bert Gordon, the Mad Russian, for coming over here today. And, really, I was thinking...
Oh, stop thinking. You've got the violin under your chin. Phil is ready. I'll sing, all right?
Okay, let's go. Come on. Give us an introduction.
Every star above knows the one I love, sweet. And the moon up high, I'd like to kill that guy, sweet. No one else, it seems, ever shares my dreams. And without you, dear, I don't know what I'd...
When you're feeling mighty blue, for you.
Heart of mine, you live all the time, sweet. No one else, it seems, ever shares my dreams. And without you, dear, I don't know what I'd... Heart of mine, you live all the time, sweet Sue. Just you.
Now we'll take a short commercial break, and when we return, we'll have a wonderful episode of Henry Aldridge. Now sit back and enjoy a wonderful episode of Henry Aldridge.
The scene is the Aldrich hallway. The time is just before breakfast.
Hello, Toby? Toby, are you listening?
Yes, Henry, but I'm thinking.
Well, never mind thinking, Toby. Didn't you say you'd pay me back?
I'm going to, just as soon as I get some money.
But, Toby, I'm going to a party Saturday night, and if you don't pay me the 50 cents, I can't get the trousers I need.
Henry.
Just a minute, Toby. What, Homer?
Tell him if he doesn't pay, you'll sue.
Sure. Listen, Toby.
Henry, would it help you any if I loaned you a pair of trousers?
No, how would that help? I've ordered a brand new pair of slacks, and I need that 50 cents before I can pay for them.
Well, suppose we made some kind of business arrangement.
What business arrangement?
Well, would it help you any if I paid you 5 cents every week on what I owe you?
No.
Go on, Henry. Tell him you'll sue.
Yeah, Toby, if I don't get that money, you can expect to be sued.
Look, Henry, I'll call you back in just a few minutes.
You'd better.
Okay, you wait right there by the phone. I'll see what I can do.
Okay.
So long, Hen. Thanks for calling.
So long.
What did he say, Henry?
That's a nice thing, Homer. That's a nice thing.
Henry, did you know that when you're in a position like the one you're in, you can get a bill collector?
You can?
Sure. My father will give you the names of 2 or 3 you could get.
Henry!
Yes, Father?
I just put a letter for you on the living room table.
Oh, gee whiz, who's it from?
I didn't notice.
Homer, come on into the living room.
Why don't you get a collector and scare the daylights out of Toby?
I'd certainly like to.
Henry, your breakfast is getting cold.
I'll be right there, Mother.
You asked for 3 eggs, you know.
Yes, Mother. I'm practically starved this morning.
Is your letter from a girl, Henry? Oh, gee whiz. Well, who's it from, Henry?
Oh, gee whiz.
Well, what does the letter say?
Oh, boy.
Is it bad news, Hen?
Will you please stop breathing on me?
But who's the letter from, Henry?
The public library.
Oh, the library. They want you to join?
Well, not exactly. I borrowed a book there, see, and now suddenly it's overdue.
Well, when did you take it out?
Sometime last December, they say. Gee whiz, Homer, I think they made a mistake. I could almost swear it wasn't until last January.
Are you sure?
Sure, I'm sure. I remember distinctly that in December I didn't feel like reading on account of Christmas.
Oh, boy. And they charge 2 cents a day.
January, February, March. Homer, after November it'll be more than $5. $5 just for one copy of Huckleberry Finn that I didn't even read.
Well, why didn't you return it after 2 weeks?
I told you I hadn't finished it. That's what I get for trying to improve my mind. $5?
How much do you have?
Well, just enough to pay for my slacks, provided Toby pays what he owes me.
Then forget about the book. The thing for you to do, Henry, is to crack down on Toby.
But what about the library book?
All the public library will ever do is send you letters. Now, what harm can that do?
You really think so, Homer?
Sure. They can't afford to get too tough. They don't want to lose you as a customer.
Henry?
After all, they hardly ever go as far as they did with George Bigelow.
What did they do to George?
They called in his mother and father and went to see the principal.
Oh, boy.
Henry, I want you to come in here and eat your breakfast.
Mother, I don't think I want any breakfast.
What's the matter?
I couldn't eat a thing.
What are you doing, Henry?
I'm just looking for something, Mary.
Oh, my goodness, you don't have to tear the bookshelves all apart, do you?
Well, don't worry, I'll put everything back, Mary. Has any phone call come from me this morning?
Not that I know of.
Isn't that strange? Every time I've called Toby, the line was busy.
I thought you were just talking to him.
It wasn't Toby. I was talking to the Centerville Emporium.
What about?
Well, I canceled a pair of trousers I happened to have ordered.
Well, Mother says you should get ready for lunch right away.
All right. Mary, do you know Miss Spofford?
Miss Spofford?
At the library.
Oh, my goodness, Miss Spofford. She scares me. Henry, she has the most terrible temper.
Is that right?
Henry, you wanted on the telephone.
Well, gee whiz, it's about time.
Henry, don't let your lunch get cold.
I want to tell that Toby a thing or two. Hello? Now listen, Toby.
Is this Mr. Henry Aldrich?
What's that?
I'd like to speak to Mr. Henry Aldrich.
This is I.
This is the Centerville Emporium.
Oh. Oh!
I'm very sorry, but our manager says it's too late to cancel your trousers.
What? But gee whiz, I don't want them.
I'm sorry, but those trousers have been altered to your measurement.
But I can't use them. Another use has come up for my money.
I see.
And it isn't as though I'd worn them. You still got them. You've even got all you cut off the bottom.
I see. Well, I'll tell our Mr. Sweeney.
Well, thank you very much. And tell him that if I see anybody my size, I'd be very glad to send them in.
Thank you, Mr. Aldrich. I'll explain it to him.
Thank you.
Goodbye.
Henry?
Yes, Mother?
Henry, did I just hear you canceling your order for those new trousers?
Yes, Mother.
But why, dear?
Well, oh boy, you know how it is with new trousers.
I'm afraid I don't.
Well, gee whiz, after a while you get tired of looking at them. And then I'd wear them to the party Saturday night. When it's over, what use would I have for them? You know what I mean, Mother?
No, dear, but I'm sure you're being very sensible. Now, please run up and get ready for lunch. I have something I made just specially for you.
Well, I've got to answer the phone first. Hello, Toby?
Hello?
Oh, Homer? Listen, Homer.
This is Mr. Sweeney.
Who?
Mr. Sweeney from the Emporium.
Oh. Did your girl tell you I explained everything?
Yes, she did. And we try to treat our customers fairly. But, young man, do you understand what a business transaction is?
I can't use the trousers.
Neither can we.
You can't? Well, look, do you know Huckleberry Finn?
No, but we have a great many customers, and I can't be expected to know all of them.
Well, you see, I've been in a very embarrassing position with those trousers.
You'll be much more embarrassed without them. What I mean is, they were ordered especially for you. Will you please call for them?
Didn't I make it clear? I can't use them.
Why not?
Well, I'm not very fond of light blue.
Would you please ask your father to come to the phone?
My father?
Your father.
Well, he isn't here right now.
Then may I speak to your mother?
Well, look, come to think of it, I am fond of light blue. I'll be down to get them.
And when can we expect to see you?
Would tomorrow be too late?
That'll be fine. Thank you, sir.
That's all right.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Henry, who was that?
I think it was the Emporium. Listen, Mary, could you loan me a few dollars, provided I pay it back a little each week?
What's the matter with your own money?
Well, it's all tied up. You might say in debts.
I'm sorry, Henry. I just spent everything I had on a dress for the party Saturday night. It's the most beautiful blue.
Yeah?
They call it huckleberry blue.
Huckle? Huckle?
Yes.
Are you ready for lunch, children?
Right away, Mother.
How about you, Henry?
Well, gee, Mother, I'm sorry, but I couldn't eat a thing.
Hello, is this Dr. Bennington?
Yes, Mrs. Aldrich?
I don't like to bother you, Doctor, but Mr. Aldrich and I are just a bit worried about Henry.
Something wrong with him?
Well, he's simply not himself. He hasn't eaten more than a bite in 2 days.
That's pretty serious for Henry. Does he have a rash?
No, I haven't noticed any. He just sits and mopes all day, and he's extremely nervous.
Well, I'll phone the drugstore and have a tonic put up for him.
But, Doctor, we've always had a great deal of trouble getting him to take any tonic. He fights it.
Well, maybe the exercise will give him an appetite. You tell Henry that if he takes this, all of his troubles will be over.
All right.
Thank you for calling, Mrs. Aldrich.
Oh, thank you, Doctor.
Good day.
Mother!
Yes, Mary?
Have you forgotten dinner's ready?
Oh, I'm coming.
We went right ahead.
Mother?
Yes, Henry?
It wasn't Toby that just called, was it?
No, dear. It was a call I put in.
Did you see Toby today, Henry?
No, Father. I haven't been able to get in touch with him.
Well, you're not the only one.
What do you mean, Father?
After trying to get his father on the phone all day, I stopped in there on the way home tonight. We discovered that somebody had plugged the phone so that it only gave a busy signal.
Is that right? Is that right?
Henry, you must eat something. If you don't, you certainly aren't going to any party Saturday night.
Mother, Eleanor Wentworth expects me. She invited me personally.
Eleanor Wentworth? You're going over to the Wentworth Saturday?
Yes, sir. That's where the party is.
Alice, did you hear about Mr. Wentworth? Quite an honor.
What about him, Sam?
He was just elected chairman of the board at the public library.
At the what?
Was he?
Mr. Wentworth was?
Yes.
Mr. Wentworth. He's chairman of the library?
Do you have any objection?
Me? Oh, gosh, no. I was just surprised to hear that with all his other work. Why would he want to be that?
I think he'll find some way to work it out.
Henry, turn around and let me look at you.
Something the matter with me?
Sam, don't you think we ought to have the doctor come over and see Henry?
If you think it'll amuse him.
Dear, I'm serious.
Now, Mother, if there's one thing I don't want to see, it's a doctor.
Well, I certainly think we ought to drop into his office tomorrow.
Tomorrow? But I have a job that I'm beginning tomorrow.
With whom?
With Mrs. Hoffman. Gee whiz, just to prove I'm all right, I'll eat some dessert for you.
Mary, how about the dessert?
I'll bring it right in, Father.
Well, please hurry. I have a guest coming.
And Mary?
Yes, Mother?
I want you to give Henry an extra large portion.
Sure. What are we having?
Huckleberries.
Huckleberries. Ah, good old huckleberries.
Huckle? Huckle?
That reminds me, Henry, have you ever read Huckleberry Finn?
Well,
if you haven't, you ought to get it out of the library sometime.
Yes, sir.
Dear, weren't you reading it last winter?
Well, I was, Mother, but I...
Where are your berries, Henry?
Thank you, Mary.
Who's coming over tonight, Father?
Mr. Wentworth.
Mr. Wentworth? Henry, what's the matter with you?
He's choking on his huckleberry.
Mary, pound him on the back. Well, I'm certainly glad you dropped in, Mr. Wentworth.
Sorry I can't stay any longer.
You can count on Mrs. Aldrich and me to do everything we can for the library.
It's very good of you, Mr. Aldrich.
Incidentally, if you want to raise more funds, why not get some of the young people interested?
You think they'd help?
Well, of course. Let's get Henry down here. He's usually pretty good at organizing things. Henry! Oh, Henry! Strange. He was here right after dinner.
Well, ask him to drop into my office someday. I'd like to have a talk with him.
All right, I'll do that. Glad you dropped in.
Incidentally, Eleanor seems to think a great deal of Henry.
Well, you know how Henry feels about Eleanor. He's looking forward to coming over to her party Saturday night.
Sam.
Good night, Mr. Wentworth.
Good night, Mr. Aldrich.
Yes.
Sam, did Henry say anything to you about going out?
Not to me.
Well, dear, I'm really worried.
Oh, now, Alice. Henry's a reasonably normal, healthy boy. There's nothing to worry about.
Father.
Henry, is that you?
What are you doing?
I'm talking to your mother.
Are you talking to anybody else besides Mother?
No. You just missed Mr. Wentworth.
Oh. Well, I'm certainly sorry to hear that.
Henry, where have you been?
Well, just out in the garage. I just thought I'd go out and see whether the car needed washing.
At this time of night?
Gosh, everybody knows the best time to wash a car is when the sun's down. Mr. Wentworth isn't coming back, is he?
No, dear.
Oh, that reminds me. Mr. Wentworth said if you have time tomorrow, he'd like you to drop into his office. He wants to have a talk with you.
With I? What for?
It's regarding a matter pertaining to the library.
It is?
The money they're trying to collect.
You know, Father, I think I'll be going to bed.
Henry, it's nowhere near your bedtime.
Well, I know, but I think Mother's right. Maybe I am coming down with something.
Yes? Someone at the door?
It's Henry Aldrich, Mrs. Hoffman. I'm reporting for work.
Oh, I'm sorry, dear. I'm afraid it's too wet for you to rake the leaves this morning.
Gee whiz, Mrs. Hoffman, I need to earn some money.
Well, I have several errands you might run for me. Come in while I answer the phone.
Yes, ma'am. I'd be glad to do anything.
Hello? Oh, not at all. I'll be very glad to call him. Henry?
Yes, Mrs. Hoffman?
Your mother wants to speak to you. She says it's quite important.
Oh. Hello, Mother.
Henry, can you be through at Mrs. Hoffman's by 3 o'clock?
Why?
I made an appointment for you to see Dr. Bennington.
Dr. Bennington, Mother? Dr. Bennington?
Yes, dear. He's to give you a thorough going over.
But, Mother, I might be busy here all day. I haven't got time to be gone over.
You'll be through by noon, Henry.
You, what, Mrs. Hoffman?
Remember, dear, 3 o'clock. Do you hear me?
Yes, Mother.
Goodbye.
Now, here's what I want you to do first, Henry.
Yes, ma'am.
This book goes back to the library.
Yes, Mrs. To the library?
My goodness, look at this. My. 2 days overdue. Well, I don't know what Miss Spofford will think of me.
2 days?
Well, you'll just have to apologize for me. I understand that since Mr. Wentworth has been made chairman of the board, they're starting a campaign about overdrawn books.
They are?
Well, after all, you can't blame them. Some people keep a book out for as much as a month.
Look, Mrs. Hoffman, the sun's coming out. Couldn't I do something else for you instead of going down to the library?
I'd much rather you went down to the library. And please tell Miss Spofford that if she has a copy of a book called Crime and Punishment, I'd love to read it.
Crime and Punishment?
Yes, dear, and hurry, won't you?
Yes, ma'am. But are you sure you don't want me to do something constructive instead?
To return a library book which he drew out last December, which he is now unable to find. Well, hoping to earn enough to pay part of the fine, he takes a job with Mrs. Hoffman, whose first request is that Henry return a book of her own to the library. The scene opens in DeHaven's drugstore. The time is a half hour later.
Homer, won't you please help me out? Won't you please do it for me?
But, Henry, I'm busy. I've got some pretty important things to take care of.
Like what? Like what?
Well, I've got a date with Willie Marshall to watch that new building they're putting up at 3rd and Main.
Boy, Homer, and you call yourself a friend. Have you ever in your whole life asked me to do anything and I turned you down?
Sure, last week. You wouldn't lend me your binoculars.
Well, gee whiz, you don't have to remember every little thing. I thought we were friends.
We are friends, Henry.
Well, if you can't do a simple little thing like going to the library and returning a book and maybe getting another.
All right, I'll do it.
Homer, you'll never regret it.
Where'll I meet you?
Right here in the drugstore by this telephone booth. I'll be calling Eleanor while I'm waiting for you.
Why are you calling Eleanor?
I'm taking you to the movies tonight. I think it'd be better if I met her someplace besides her house.
Oh.
Here, Homer, all you have to do is give this book to Miss Spofford and apologize for Mrs. Hoffman's keeping it over 2 daes.
Should I tell her you'll bring in Huckleberry Finn as soon as you find it?
No, Homer. Don't worry her about that. Just give her this and ask her for
what?
Well, I think the name of it is Crime Doesn't Pay.
Did you like the movie, Henry?
Well, I didn't care for it so much, Eleanor.
Oh, I did. I thought it was beautiful. The way as long as he lived, his conscience bothered him.
Did you like that part?
And all he'd stolen when he was a boy was an ordinary bottle of milk. My, but didn't he suffer, though?
Well, I guess the suffering was pretty evenly divided. Now, listen, Eleanor, would you mind walking up this street toward Homer's house?
What for?
Well, I waited at the Havens drugstore for nearly 3 hours today, and he never did show up.
I'll bet you wouldn't do a thing like that to a person.
Who, me?
That's the first impression a person gets of you. That you're dependable, reliable.
Oh, gee, I don't... Well, you take a person that... Well...
What, Henry?
Well, what I was going to say is, you take sometimes... Well, I guess a person can't help it.
Help what?
Anything.
You're awfully understanding of others, Henry.
Well, I do study people a lot. I kind of read their character.
That's what I like about you, Henry. You're so intelligent. I'll bet you do a lot of reading.
Why? Well, I like some books.
I'll bet you probably grow up and collect books.
I'll get over it. Oh, boy. Who's that coming down the street?
Where?
Right under the street lamp.
Oh, it's Miss Spofford.
Miss Spofford from the library?
Do you know her?
Well, only what you might call professionally. Look, Eleanor, instead of going to Homer's, why don't we go down this way, by Johnson's Candy Kitchen?
Did you want to stop him there?
Well, I think it might be a good idea. Let's walk real fast.
Oh, my goodness, look who's right ahead of us.
Who is it?
Isn't that Mrs. Hoffman?
Mrs. Hoffman? Oh, boy. Look, Eleanor, why don't we go across the street to Tillman's hamburger stand? It's a lot better.
All right. Oh, let's hurry.
Why?
Father's right over there. We can walk with him.
He is?
Henry? Henry? Where are you, Henry?
What did he say, Alice?
Sam, the doctor doesn't seem to know what the trouble is.
No.
There wasn't anything wrong with his eyes, and the dentist x-rayed every tooth in his head.
Well, that should put your mind at ease.
No, dear, it doesn't. Dr. Bennington says sometimes something very mysterious can happen to a boy. And no matter how hard they try, they can't find what's wrong. He simply goes into a complete decline. And when a thing like that happens, Sam, he says there's only one safe thing to do.
What's that?
Take a trip to Arizona.
All right, I'll take it.
No! Henry!
Henry, what's in the box?
Just a pair of trousers, Mary. See?
Oh, they look awfully nice.
The Emporium made them to order, you might say.
You better hurry if you're going to the party.
I'm not going.
Why not?
Because I'm not. Do you think I'd be wearing my new trousers if I were going?
Oh, Henry, you don't have to jump at me.
Jump at you? When did I jump at you?
That's what Mother and Father were talking about. They said you've turned so cross they don't know you.
Listen, Mary, I'm in one of the most terrible predicaments I've ever been in my life. Do you know where I can lay my hands on a copy of Huckleberry Finn?
Sure.
You do? That's wonderful. Where?
At the public library.
Gee whiz, Mary.
Henry!
Yes, Mother?
Have you taken your tonic since dinner?
Gee whiz, I've taken it 5 times today.
That doesn't make any difference. You're supposed to take it after dinner, too.
All right. Listen, Mary, I had a letter from the library today, see?
Another?
How'd you know I had any?
I keep my eyes open.
Well, Mary, all Miss Spofford says in this letter is that if I pay the library the price of a new copy of Huckleberry Finn, they'll forget the rest that's due.
Well, I'm sorry. I can't lend you anything, Henry.
Henry?
Yes, Mother?
Homer's down here.
He is? Homer's here?
Sure.
Well, gee whiz, Homer, where you been for the last 2 days? I was delayed, Henry. Delayed by what?
Well, first it was the bulldozers, then it was the steam shovel. But don't worry, I got Mrs. Hoffman's book to the library the first thing this morning.
Oh, boy, it's about time.
Well, hurry up. Aren't you going to the party?
No, I'm not.
Why not?
Because of Mr. Wentworth.
Well, Mr. Wentworth isn't going to be there.
He isn't?
I think somebody said he's going to be out of town.
But you're not sure he's going to be.
I'm partly sure.
Well, come on, Homer, come on.
Aren't you going to put on your new pants?
Well, I'll bring the box along with me.
What?
Homer, there's no sense in putting them on and giving them wear and tear unless I'm absolutely sure I'm going to the party.
Henry, What are you doing out here on the porch?
Hello, Eleanor.
Hello, Homer.
Hi.
Come on in.
Eleanor, we won't be disturbing your father, will we?
Oh, no, he isn't even in town.
He isn't? Well, gee, Eleanor, that's too bad.
Didn't I tell you, Henry? Let's go in.
Come on, Henry.
Okay.
There isn't anyone here but our crowd and a few others and Miss Spofford.
Miss Spofford?
Yes, you know her, don't you?
Oh, yes.
Sure, Miss Spofford, from the library.
Eleanor, I just happened to remember.
What?
Well, my mother's home, all alone.
She is, Henry? Oh, well, why don't you ask her to come over?
No, I think I better go home.
Oh, Henry, you can certainly come in for just a while.
Well, gee, I'd like to, Eleanor, but when my mother's alone, she likes to have me with her.
Oh, just stay for one game. In just a minute, we're going to play a literary game.
A literary game?
A literary game?
Yes.
I just happen to think my mother's alone, too.
Oh, but it's the easiest thing in the world. Miss Spofford asks the questions, and you answer. And there are prizes.
Well, I just couldn't enjoy winning a prize. Not with my mother home alone.
Please, Henry.
No.
Henry, I'm not going to let you go. You're coming in if I have to pull you in.
Please, Eleanor.
Hey, Henry, let go of me.
If I'm going in, you are too.
Quiet, everybody, please. Shh, quiet. Miss Spofford is almost ready for the final part of the game. Shh. The last three remaining in the literary contest are... Oh, let me see. Who are they, Miss Spofford?
They're Toby Smith.
Toby Smith.
Homer Brown.
Homer Brown.
And now let me see, who is the third?
Isn't it Henry?
Oh, yes, Henry Aldrich. Now, all three of you boys will stand in the middle of the room facing me.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
In each of these packages is a prize.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Miss Spofford, can anyone take my place?
I'm very sorry, Henry, but you will have to take your own turn in answering. Now then, Toby, in order to win what's in this box I hold, you will have to answer a question.
Yes, ma'am.
Now tell me, what character in literature said, to be or not to be?
To be or not to be?
Yes.
Is that the end of the sentence?
That's the end of the question. Who said it?
Shakespeare?
Well, that's close enough. Here's a box of, I believe it's 6 linen handkerchiefs.
Well, thank you very much. They're exactly what I've always wanted.
Now then, Homer. Homer, can you tell me who was the leading female character in Ivanhoe?
In Ivanhoe?
Yes.
She has to be female?
I'm afraid so.
In Ivanhoe. Rebecca?
That's right.
What?
And here is a lovely collar box for you.
Oh, thank you.
Now then, Henry.
Oh, gee whiz.
I want you to tell me the name of the author of the book in this last package.
Yes, Miss Spofford.
It is Huckleberry Finn.
Huckleberry?
Henry!
Gee whiz, Miss Spofford.
He's freezing. Quick, somebody get something cold.
You rub some ice cream on
Oh,
him.
but Miss Spofford, he answered it. He wins the book. Just as he went down, his last words were Mark Twain.
Miss Spofford, why don't you just keep the book? I've got a feeling you're going to get it back anyway.
Now is the hour when we must say goodbye.
This has been a Seattle Miracle Incorporated production. We hope you will return next week for another episode of RadioTrivia.com. Good night.